Greetings, Kalipa here. Today, I want to discuss something that has been very troubling and has quite honestly hurt me on many levels, both personally and for different greater reasons. It began by watching the following video. This video has then led me to watch this next one. I will not show it in full. I will link everything in the description. However, this is a video that I will show the beginning, and then I will forward within the video to see how it concludes. The video is called How to Ask a Girl Out 1989 by Sky Corp Home Video.
Starting a conversation with a real live female can seem intimidating. But when you put yourself out there, the worst she can say is no. You can start by breaking the ice. Try opening with something like this.
How's your book? Is it good?
It sure is.
Or this.
Plenty of cute dogs out. Do you like dogs?
I sure do.
Or this.
Say, did you hear about the genocide on the news?
I sure did.
Once you've broken the ice, introduce yourself and start chatting.
I'm Melvin.
Polly.
Do you like coming to this park?
I sure do.
Me too.
Cool.
I will now move forward a bit in the video.
If the conversation is flowing and it feels like she likes you, try asking for her phone number.
You know, maybe I could,
Remember, the worst she can say is no.
I could, get your number get the number to your phone. It's your phone number?
Oh, I have the number already written down in my pocket. Here you go.
Thanks. I'll call you later.
I'd like that.
Make sure you wait until the evening to call her and come up with some date options before you ask her out.
Police are still actively searching for a man involved in a disturbing incident at Buena Vista Park earlier
That's the
today,
park I was at.
frightening one young woman in particular.
I had to give him my number. He was gonna probably start masturbating or worse.
Polly?
I just hope the police catch him so that he never harasses anyone ever again.
Oh my gosh.
Sketch artists were able to create this drawing of the offender. The victim was also able to provide this audio recording.
Maybe I could, get your number get the number to your phone. It's your phone number?
He recorded that?
Absolutely terrifying. If anyone has any information on this alleged rapist, please contact the LAPD Crime Tips hotline below.
Rapist?
Hello?
Polly, it's me, Melvin.
Oh, Melvin.
Yeah, why you're on the news saying a bunch of terrible, awful things about me? Why is this? How is this? No, this isn't funny. Why are you laughing?
Because, silly. You thought a girl like me would go out with a creep like you?
I was only trying to talk to you.
Trace complete. Thanks for distracting him, Paul. We got you and your confession, you sick fuck!
Who is this? Polly.
Police! We have the area surrounded!
Oh, shit.
Hands in the fucking air! Now!
I was just trying to ask her out. I swear.
You know, I got the perfect first date spot. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
You heard her! On the ground! No! I can't go to jail! He's making a run for it! Stop! Oh, he's making a run!
The rest of the thing. No.
I watched that video, and immediately I had gotten flashbacks to what was happening sometimes past in regards to a question posed to women. That being, if you were stuck in a forest on your own, would you had rather be stuck with a man or a bear? The longer I walk upon this earth, the older I get, the more I realize the worth of a man's life, the importance of a man's life, the role of a man's life, the meaning of a man's life. And I have come to realize that more and more we are worthless. The cost of a man's life, its meaning, its purpose, its value is worthless. This is a quote by William T. Sherman, who was an army in the United States of America Civil War that fought on the side of the North. And he has said, "I am tired and sick of war. Its glory is all moonshine. It is only those who have never fired a shot nor heard the shrieks and groans of the wounded who cry aloud for blood, for vengeance, for desolation. War is hell." I was not aware of this, but apparently the month of June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I did not know this. I was fully unaware. And apparently this is an ongoing tradition that's been going on for many years in multiple corners of the world. Mine, is not one of them, apparently. But, you know, it is a thoughtful consideration to get. I was also recently made aware that the month of June is also something called Pride Month. I had no idea what that was as well, but apparently it is a month that is dedicated to celebrating the love and friendship and to show how far a certain LGBTQ plus movement rights have come and the places that still need work. I have seen in years past this whole expression of this rainbow colored flag. I was made aware that this was meant to show support to homosexuals, but apparently it's also for the LG the acronym movement. And after I had been made aware of all of this, I had spent a good amount of time online, and I have seen that there is a discourse happening where if one is to express any sort of interest, curiosity, sadness, jubilation towards men's mental health, they are somehow immediately brandished as a villain. And things such as the videos have shown, such as the question of the man or a bear, has truly made me feel worthless. The more I study history, the more I study human behavior, the more I study religions, the more I study nations, the more I study everything, all the wars that happened, I come to realize that many issues nowadays in relation to men and women is a threefold issues. There are certain issues that are uniquely men, certain issues that are uniquely women, and certain issues that are in correlation to each other. I have gotten to a point where I know well, I would say, what happens in each camp, but I'm most verse in what happens in the men side and in the in-between side. And for the men's side, I have come to realize that why so many of my peers, people that I know, of my fellow men, why so many of them are stressed, down on their luck, truly miserable, going through hardship, is a combination of many factors that is a result, a consequence out of any of the plethora of fields I had mentioned earlier, that being history, religion, nations, wars, what have you. And to focus around the man versus bear within the woods question, I believe, is the best case example to try and illustrate all three segments.
If you were stuck in the woods, would you rather be encountered by a bear or a random man?
Bear. Don't trust men.
Take my chances with a bear.
I'm going to be encountered by a bear.
By a bear.
They won't question what you're wearing if you got attacked by a bear.
You could run away. You could protect yourself. A man, he's going to be like, you need to be in my space. I'm a man. Why you not in my space?
Very deceitful.
On first glance, one might say that that it is understandable that a woman would choose a bear. Yet the more you think about it, and the more if you truly see what we as humans have written in this book of history, the answer is not actually that simple. It shows that the problem is not so definable. It's not black and white, but rather is in fact a tapestry of grudges and stubbornness and vengeance and broken promises and broken trusts, lies and deceits, triumphs and victories, all interwoven to such a fine degree that it is quite impossible to separate and find a root cause. The amount of people that are either sexually assaulted has been a topic of discussion for many years now. In the case of women, this site says that it is 1 in 4 women, 1 in 6 children, and 1 in 18 men. This site is a site that represents mostly the United Kingdom. And when one hears these statistics, it truly becomes very hard to conceive and to accept. And while this site tries to inform, tries to educate, tries to bring awareness, tries to do good, in the same breath, on one of its own sites, it does something which I would consider illustrates this tapestry of issues. In this segment where they discuss the myths about these horrid acts, they say that one of the myths is that women lie about being defiled because they want attention or revenge, or regret having sex with someone. And now it says at the bottom something that is quite troublesome. It says, the facts. False allegations of are extremely rare. In fact, most people who are defiled or experience another form of defilement never tell the police. That is very dangerous. That illustrates my point quite beautifully. For you see, most people who truly get defiled in that way never approach the police, because it invokes a sense of shame and guilt, the need to express a certain vulnerability, a certain moment of weakness. And be it man or woman, many of these factors play a role within an individual's thought process. So that is true. False allegations of defilement are extremely rare. That, however, is a lie. The reason why so many people supported Johnny Depp versus his then partner Amber Heard is due to the simple fact that it was obvious and easy to see that she was lying. The reason as to why that statement of allegations are mostly false, why that is a common accepted truth, is due to the fact that this sort of heinous, deplorable act If it were to happen, it needs to be eradicated. It is such an evil that is not allowed to see the light of day. The reason why I personally did not find offense to the man versus bear decision, but rather felt great sadness, is the fact that if a woman truly believes she would have truly a better time overall with either a human man or a wild bear, I am saddened because her worldview, men, for the majority, are more dangerous than a wild bear. And it saddens me because graphs like this show otherwise. This is the defilement statistics from the site called Data Pandas. And as you can see, there is a lot of red, truly is. But there's quite a lot of blue. And this is simply one site. If we are to go different site, there's actually not as many. This trend does not only repeat itself with defilements. If we were to look at serial killers, most of the world is not that frightening. At crime rates, homicides, serious assaults, sex violence, kidnappings, robberies, most of the world is not like that. I bring this up because this is the exact same pattern that can be attributed to wars. The amount of wars nowadays are no different than the amount of wars that were happening 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. They are the exact same. The only reason is that now we are more aware due to the internet, due to telephone communications, due to travel. We are more aware and informed of all the things that's happening every single day. And when every single day people keep hearing all the time about how women are in danger, about how men are horrible, about how everything is awful, it is no surprise that the outlooks of these individuals is quite grim. I have traveled the world and I have spent my fair share of time with different groups of people from all corners of the world. And we have spoken and discussed about many an issue: defilements, crime, corruption, education, religious beliefs, what have you. And more often than not, I have seen that there are more people, groups, movements, places, times in history, nations, what have you, more of them overall are at the least pleasant, if not good, or striving to be so. So I do not blame women when they say they would rather be with the bear. I do not. It is simply because their worldview truly has no space for any sort of kindness, for any good folk. It has none of that. It only has the barbarity and the cruelty of it. That is why they picked a bear. And when it comes to the exact opposite, when it comes to men, the videos we've watched, I've seen for a long time, but now I truly lament and empathize with men, especially after seeing the following. This is a chart that displays how many women took their own lives in the year of 2021. This higher is the men. Since I also wanted to include data from a more reputable source, I also find the World Health Organization statistics. This is the suicide rate of women in the year 2021. As you can see, it's quite low worldwide. I've come to a point where I truly do not believe the internet. I do not trust it. I am quite the proponent of seeing is believing. I try to get the worldviews. I try to get the experiences of people. When it comes to the question of man or bear, when it comes to the question of why have so many men taken their own lives, when I speak to older generations, women from time past, from different corners of the world, and I truly spoken to them in different age groups, 30, 40, 50, 60, all the way from east to west, north to south, many of them, the older women, in fact, picked a man. But if it were a man or a woman, older generations, if asked, how many people do you know who have taken their own lives? How many are there? And when did you start hearing about it? The majority of responses I got was people saying, if they were not in any army, more likely than not, they're still alive or they have died a different way. I have spoken to my father, who is more than 50 years of age at this point, and when I asked him, do you know of people that have taken their own lives? He said yes. But then I asked him, how old were you when first you heard that somebody has taken their own life? And he has said that when he was around 43. That would make it a decade or so ago past. When I was 16 and still in high school, I've heard the news of an acquaintance of mine that I vaguely knew, but I knew of, who had taken their life. Truth be told, I do not remember the reason for it. I do not recall all the things that were happening around that, but 16 and 43, there's a big gap in between those two numbers. I'm seeing a trend that more and more young men rather in general, I won't specify to the young, men in general taking their own lives. And for some, it may be because of love. And for some, it may be because of finances. And for some, it may be because of lack of purpose, education, professional career, what have you. But something is happening. There are many reasons, many examples why men are scary, can be scary, the potential for great violence. That is something that is prevalent within us. And despite the fact of everything that has happened, and despite the fact that even if we are aware of this, the world being robbed of the hope that man can be better has led us down this path. I have grown in a company of great men, and I have grown to admire great men. Most are real, some are even fictional. The best example, despite the fact that they are fictional, I can point to is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and Samwise Gamgee from the Shire. There are many examples. Charles Hazlitt Upham, Jack Churchill. These are two examples of soldiermen. John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, also a soldierman, but also a writer. Conan Christopher O'Brien, a TV personality. Bear Grylls, also a TV personality, but also a soldierman and an outdoorsman. Stephen Robert Irwin, an outdoorsman and a conservationist. Theodore Roosevelt, an outdoorsman and conservationist, and a president of the United States of America. Abraham Lincoln, an outdoorsman and a president. be it because of prosecutions for the sins of the father, be it because of mediocrity, be it because of a robbed future, be it because of what have you. I believe that we have found ourselves in a state, in a place, in time, where there are no great men to which we can look up against. No great men who can truly stand up for what's right. No great men that can truly stand behind his beliefs in spite of difficulty. No great men who truly wish to make the world a better place. No great men that are stoic in place of work and in times of hardship, but can also be honest and kind and true with the very least his other fellow men. The reason why men are suffering, the reason why more and more of us are dying, is because we truly are worthless. And we have always been. But now, when even the hope of that worthlessness becoming something greater has been snuffed out more or less everywhere by more or less everyone, that worthlessness truly becomes haunting. Women giving up on men is understandable for many reasons. But when it comes to trying to approach women, when it comes to trying to understand them, when it comes to trying to understand yourself and being a better man, I have spent so many years now truly trying to understand, and I have come to at least two things that need to change. They're not the only issues, but they, I believe, are the first two great steps we can make to truly increase the betterment of everyone. All the women, you have to understand that men have the potential to be great beasts. And you have to understand that we are aware of it. But if we try to express that and then get shunned, ridiculed, treated as a threat because of it, or even worse, are forced to deny it, will force all the other factors of humanity to go down a path that more often than not no man would ever go down. I have been told that many women want their men to open up, but I have experienced this, but heard a lot that when we do, many of you women are shocked and surprised about all the horrors that we think about. And while these horrors are normal to us, when you shut us down, break us down because of it, there is no safe space. And when there is no safe space, many men figure, what's the point of trying to be good if there is no haven for me to fight for? Accepting a man's destructive nature should be allowed, because only if you do, women, you will understand that men simply try to deal with that as well. First and foremost, before indulging in it. First and foremost, try to deal with it. And if you try to see that we are dealing with it as well as you are, you will once again have hope that men are trying to be more than what they are. And the hope of a good man will live on again. To all the men, more importantly than to women, this message is more important. We must be allowed to have true fellowships with one another. Brothers in arms or in blood, we must be allowed to be true in the company of one another. I have gone through many things in the past couple of years with all the men in my life, and I have come down to two realizations: that stoicism, bottling up your feelings, the idea of the company of men can already be enjoyed, even if it's spent in utter silence completely. That has its time and place. But when that is all of it, that is when men break. And I know this because I've watched many a soldiers from many a war say the exact same thing. That stoicism is good, but not always. We must talk to one another. Because only by talking are we able to normalize openness. And what I've realized is that that openness has also been compromised or lost. Because if your fellow man does something you do not disagree with, it should be acknowledged. And depending on the action, course of action should be taken that keeps the individual accountable or keeps the individual in praise. And I have seen that so many of us men are very bad at keeping each other accountable, giving each other praise, or when it gets difficult, we simply walk away. All the great men earlier that I've shown are the exact antithesis to this. I have not seen a bigger deceiver in my life, for he truly knows all of this, what I say, yet he weaponizes it for his own personal gain. And I know this because of this. I lost all of my friendships. They've kicked me out of the group, and it's my fault. Where do I go from here? I made mistakes that probably cost me a close friendship. How can I ever move on? Lost a friend because of my actions. The fact that there is a group dedicated to lost friendships is indicative to everything I have spoken. All the issues that happen with women, with men, and the interactions in between truly stem from these two things. For us men, when I said to women to have hope for good men, but the biggest issue I think is still within our own groups. For women, I do not know everything that goes wrong, but I would assume that as like us, you two need to keep each other more accountable and truly allow a space for discourse, a space to improve. Everything I've read in here illustrates everything that I have been saying in this video and thinking about for the past years. And the fact that it goes down to friendships, that tells me clearly that this is simply an issue. This is a site that tracks certain data on different subreddits. I do not know how reliable it is, but this graph is very concerning. In the past year, I have lost many things in my life. It has been, without a doubt, the most difficult time in my life. And it is only through this hardship that I was able to come to these realizations. So I truly pass it on to you for the simple reason is to try to avoid these pitfalls and these issues. To all the men out there, I want you to know that I truly empathize with all your grievances and all your hardships. I truly wish that I could make you comfortable and truly believe that there are spaces and there are people that still allow you to truly be free and open. Be it that to explode in rage or simply break in sorrow. There are still many people in places like that. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the experiences yet, but I believe I have seen the world enough and observed people long enough to know that there are some things that I truly believe are to be some truths. And as long as I post on this channel and stream on wherever I stream, I want you to know that this is a haven for you and that I truly understand you. If there is anything I can do, I can offer an ear and listen to your cries and to your grievances. So for all the men out there who truly are going through it right now, I stand with you. Even though I might kneel and buckle under the weight of this life, I will, as it looks like, I will always get back up. My body will not give in, so I will always be here. So for all of you, may this month of mental health be a point where things can turn for the better. In the bottom of the video, I will share all the sources where one might see many of these things and where one might participate in providing sort of help to this cause. We must be better. We must keep each other accountable. And never must we give up. For then, the hope of a great man dies. I hope you're doing well. Spread the word. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video around. Thank you for watching, and thank you.